Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon Associates business for sale in the pet niche. Created in March 2016, this business makes $17,878 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 44913. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Soren, thank you for coming on here today. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Good. Thank you.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for taking the time to get on with me. Your business is valued at $464,000, which is amazing and a very large number. Before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I do want to take a moment to run through a quick summary, and then we'll dive right into that business. The business was built in March of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $18,052, expenses of $174 to make for net profit of $17,878, which is generated on a 6-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the primary domain and all site content and files, social media accounts, and the PPN. Soren, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah. Well, I actually was working, or I am working full-time, and I always had the idea of doing at least part-time business on the side. And that was when I decided, like in 2016, that Amazon Associates model would be perfect to have kind of a passive income. And at first it was an idea to have a small blog or site, and so I started small and it quickly grew bigger. And then I saw the potential actually, and just wanted to make any beer money. Yeah, the idea became bigger to actually grow it to a site which would provide full income, kind of. And so I didn't stop working on the site, added articles and so on, and it grew. And right now I think it's got, kind of a really good reputation on Google. And it grew bigger than I initially thought, Before I never had any experience with affiliate site.
Speaking of affiliate sites, affiliate model in general, why did you settle upon the Amazon Associates business model and that program rather than looking at different affiliate programs? What was attractive about the Amazon program?
Yeah, I think the most attractive fact is that if you refer the user to Amazon, I think Amazon does the best job to actually get that user into a buyer. So I think it's more attractive than any other bigger associates possibilities than Chiefly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And another attractive thing that you haven't mentioned yet of affiliate sites in general is the general lack of time commitment it takes to run them, correct?
That's correct. That was one of the main things that such a site should provide or should offer, that because I had a full-time job the last 6 years and I couldn't spend too much time on it. So I really looked into having a site which is really passive.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that makes me think then, if it is truly passive for you, then why have you decided to sell it today rather than just sit on it and keep making that passive income yourself?
Yeah. Well, I was working full-time the last 6 years on my PhD, and I didn't have a lot of time. And together with 2 friends, we started the startup like 1 year ago. And it's actually in the local hardware business, so including production, manufacturing, and everything like that in Germany. And it grew from a little idea to something big, and now it's so time consuming that I only work on that business or on the startup. And it's time consuming, and we need quite some cash to get our business running Germany-wide. So that's why I'm actually looking into selling this site right now and not having it another 5 years, because we need some cash to get our business going.
Mm-hmm. And looking at this business, sitting on it in 5 years, you could be making a lot more money than it currently is. I mean, the site has been valued using a 6-month average. If you were to go back 8 months ago, the business is still going to make $5,000 in net profit, very consistent levels, very strong levels. But then in the last 6 months, it has grown significantly to where the last couple months have been about $25,000 in profit. And that's been over 3 months now. So what has led to that increase in revenue despite such a low time commitment from you?
Yeah, I think there are two factors. Actually, I added 2 or 3 articles to the site last July, and they are in a big sub niche and really big competitors. And it took more time than usual to get any traction and get the keywords up on page 1. But finally that happened. And I think factor 2 is that in March there was a bigger Google update, I think on the 8th or 9th of March, and we really got a huge increase in traffic the next 1 or 2 months. So I think it's these two factors. But it actually showed me that the site has really a lot of potential, more than I actually thought, making these big sums, or like $25,000 per month. And so I think that's something where we could even get it, even earning more money, because there is also a big niche in that area, or big sub niche, which a potential buyer could expand in. And I haven't put in the effort the last year because I was really busy with the PhD and with that new startup. But that would be a big opportunity, I think.
And we'll touch a little bit more on the opportunities in a little bit, but I want to talk about what's going on now with the business. So as it currently stands, you're making about $20,000 every single month in net profit, barely putting any time in. So when you do put in time, what do you have to do for the business?
Yeah, so actually I check daily the stats, on Amazon, just to see if there's any irregularities, that some links aren't working or that traffic is declining. But that's more a thing I do. I think a potential buyer wouldn't have to do that, but I think it's pretty good if you do it. And on a weekly basis, I check the rankings, mainly the rankings and also the traffic. But I really have to say it's really just like 1 hour or so per week, and I really don't spend enough time on the site. I should spend more, actually, and that would grow the site, I think, even more. And on a monthly basis, I just comment on some comments which people write on at the end of each article. And actually, there are people commenting, and I think that's also a good sign to just have people commenting on articles, which also shows me kind of that they are not like thinking, that's typical just associate site or whatever, which just has 100 links to Amazon and links. So I think they believe in the brand and the genuine site.
Mm-hmm. And then with the social media accounts set up on the business, seeing as you don't do much time on them, do they get a lot of traffic?
Yeah, I think they get I have a Pinterest page, also a really small Facebook page, but that can be neglected. But the Pinterest page, I think has about like 70,000 monthly viewers, but only provides like 1% of the traffic. That is because when I started, I had that page and grew some followers and so on, but I really never used it to monetize it. So that would be also a possibility, I think, to grow it more and maybe monetize the social media accounts like that Pinterest page then. I haven't put any time into it, I have to admit.
So then looking towards the future, if someone wanted to take this and grow the business even more, where are the big opportunities for growth?
Yeah, I think the biggest opportunity would be really to go into that particular sub niche, which I would discuss with the buyer, because it's really a big one. And I've seen that the domain ranks really easily for any new articles. And I think it would be a huge opportunity to go into the sub niche. I haven't put the time on it, but that would be certainly possible. Second one would be to go, and expand to ClickBank products on the site. I also have barely any blog articles on that domain, on that website. And I have also no AdSense monetization, which would be a third possibility, I think. And what I actually thought about was also adding a shop to it, because the brand of the website, I think the people have spent quite some time on the site. I think they trust the brand. And I also thought about it going into, for example, Amazon FBA or something like that, and have my own product, or see which products are successful and which product users actually buy coming from the site, and then building a product on Amazon. I think that would be also a huge opportunity, but I don't have any experience with Amazon FBA or building my own product, and also no time. So I haven't done that. But I think that would be a huge opportunity then. And of course, I think there could be also some improvements on the articles, like adding tables to all articles. I have to say, I think the articles are quite well written. I have a good writer, which I could also recommend later then to the potential buyer. I think we found a good structure where people or users who come on the site actually trust what we write, and quite honest reviews, and not like, just a bunch of features written down, but really pros and cons. And so I think we have some trust, and a potential buyer could build on that trust that people have, I think, in that site and brand.
When talking about opportunities, you also need to talk about risks. And when I look at this business, I see one question when talking about risks, and that is the PBN. So PBNs are historically seen as a bit of a risk, but you told me before our call that you have minimized that risk as much as possible. But can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I built a PBN on my own. So I actually bought domains from auctions. I checked them all if they haven't served as a PBN before. And so that's all or they are only owned by me. So there's no second person or third person associated with that. And I also don't link to any or sold any links to any other people. I think they are looking good, the sites in the PBN. And also, I think with Google showing about 300 domains coming to my website, I think these 40 links coming from the PBN are kind of a part of it, but I don't think that it's a big risk, and especially because they're all owned by myself. I did buy 2 times links from people, but I also know these people, and both of them, I know them longer, and so I didn't want to buy any link package or whatever from dubious sites or from dubious sellers, only from people which I actually know and which I actually have trust in them, that they don't do any bad stuff or have like a good looking PBN.
And then your site was also hit with a penalty from Google a couple months ago, correct? What happened then?
Yeah, that's correct. That was, I think, end of June. We had a review plugin on the site, which displays a star rating in the SERPs. I actually thought it's in line with Google, but they put a manual penalty on the site, and because of violation of the rich snippet. On the same day, I then removed the plugin entirely, so there isn't any more a star rating on it or in the SERPs, and answered Google and did a reconsideration request. And Google then 2 weeks later, I think, lifted the penalty entirely. And I think that there was no penalty in traffic then, just a really slight decrease, I think, in the click-through rate, but that's really small, the decrease, because I think users would maybe are tempted to click more in the SERPs on a entry which has some stars on it, but so the click-through rate sank just a little bit, but not considerably.
There is something to be said about the affiliate model in that people love it because it is so low maintenance, yet you have the potential, as we're seeing today, to make a lot of money. So, Soren, if someone wanted to start their own affiliate site, what would be the biggest piece of advice that you wish you had known when you got started with this business?
That's a good question. I think hit many different sub niches which you maybe don't think of. It's the same with my website, where actually quite some money is generated or from products which I had never known before or never even heard about. And these and you get way easier onto some page one rankings on Google for these products. And yes, and the big ones like the Wirecutter, so they don't, I think, spend the time on writing a best of article for these products, but they're really profitable. Yeah, so I really have to say some products I've never even heard about them before, and then I checked them, and yeah, it's amazing how much money you can make from just some side niches or really small niches. Yeah.
Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I would absolutely commit to a non-compete, and yeah.
And how much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
I think I would do the usual 30-day support with email support and also support via Skype. And I'm also open to answer any questions or give any support regarding the SEO or whatever the buyer wants to know and has to know to run the site then. But I think it's, and that's a good thing, I think there's not too much, because I think the site, the really strong points are the articles and the good articles, and also the standing in Google, that it's, yeah, I think it has quite some domain authority on Google.
Are you open to discussing something like an earnout?
Yes, I'm definitely open to discuss an earnout, because I believe in the site and that it will continue to earn good money. And so, yeah, I'm open to a negotiation like that, earnout. Yeah.
Awesome, Soren. Thank you so much for taking the time. I do have another question for you, but before we get to that, I want to go ahead and run through that quick summary of the business again. The business was built in March of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $18,052, expenses of $174 to make for a net profit of $17,878, which is generated on a 6-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the primary domain and all site content and files, social media accounts, and the PBN. Soren, if you could, please place yourself in the objective shoes of a buyer, and then looking at this business, why do you feel like it's one worth buying?
I think it's worth buying because on the one hand side, you have the articles, which I really put quite some time on them to have a good structure and to not copy the usual associate sites, which there are many hundreds in that niche, but I really wanted to improve on the structure and what we are writing together with the writer that I have. He's a freelancer. And yeah, so I really put a lot of effort into generating better content for the site. I think that's a big plus, and nobody can take that, I think. And another big part is that it's not that easy, I think, to build nowadays a site which has quite some, I would call it domain authority, or however you want to call it, on Google. So it ranks pretty quickly for new articles. And yeah, I think there's a big opportunity to grow it even more. And they are, with the buyer, I can discuss several sub niches, I think, where the site could even expand on. So there is quite some room for growth for the site. But I really have a lot on my mind with the new startup and growing that with the two partners. And because we're all putting in 12 to 16 hours a day, and they are demanding also time from me. I can't put right now time into it. I just don't have any of it. And so, yeah, but I'm really confident that site will continue to grow and will also be, successful in the future.
Soren, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for a great interview.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.